Just to make the thing simple is this. We see things in 3 dimensions, not in 2 dimensions. Therefore, when we draw, we should use our powers of observation rather than the powers of memory. When people draw, they usually memorize, and they draw a circle for head, circle for eyes, and the thing looks like a misplaced pumpkin rather than a human head. To continue with the idea of drawing by memory, here's what most people do. They remember that the head is round, the eyes are round, the nose has a triangular form, and the mouth. So this is what should come out. Of course, this does not look like classical Greek sculpture. The head is based on a structural concept. This helps a person to place different parts of the head in a proper area. The human head looks like an egg. That, in turn, is divided into 2 parts. The line into 2 lines going to the center, which control certain size of the nose and so on. That, in turn, is also divided area for what will later be the eyebrows, and one for the bottom of the nose, and 1, 2, 3 divided into 3. 1/3 down is for the mouth. Let's put the eyes. The eyes go usually underneath the eyebrows, which in turn are enclosed in an indentation in the head, which takes in the eyes. That will be the thing. The nose is on this line, and the top of the nose is part of the 2 lines. That in turn fans out where the nostrils are, and there's an underplane. Okay. In the underplane, that's where you put the nostril, and these 2 things lead to the lips. Okay. There's a muzzle. Just like in any animal, a human has a muzzle. According to these lines are the wrinkled lines that go on the face. Let's finish the upper part. The eyes are controlled. The size of the eyes are controlled by a couple of dots above the eyebrow line. And from the end of the line, 1 line goes here, and 1 line goes there. Let me show you what these lines control. In order to get the eye looks like an egg, so there it is. The upper line controls the upper lid, and the lower line controls the lower part of the upper lid. That in turn goes to, drops down and forms an egg shape. The eyeball goes inside of that. So there you are, you have an eye of a human being. That in itself also has division for lines which go this way and form more wrinkles in the face and control the shape of the eye. So we have here an eye. It has an underlid and overlid, the heavier one, depending on it, and an overlap here where the eye meets. And this part is where the eyeball rests. Remember one thing. If you ever see a human being this way and an eye that looks like this, when he looks at you, run, because you probably just escaped from a nut house. Human, normal person, the eyeball hangs on the upper lid. All right? Now, this in itself has shape, and therefore this area here would be in shadow, this part would be in shadow. The lines, these 2 lines, help the division of the lip. Let's take this out and show you what it is. The bottom lip ends here, touches that part, goes here, turns over here, and turns here. And this is where the folds on the lips go. Now this is the double lip. Ears are between the eyes and the bottom of the nose, about here, about here. And from the upper part, a line goes towards the nose, which indicates the cheekbone. It's not a complete line, but it shows you that. And then on this line right here, you have the muscle. The chin is a form right underneath the lips. The neck begins behind the ears and goes down and down towards the line which shows shoulders. Okay, shows the shoulders. This is attached to the body. There's a form here in the body with chest cage. That's why you get this form, and here bump, which follows the chest line, and there it is. Now, pit in the neck is below the line that controls the shoulder line, and the muscles go towards the pit of the neck. In some people, it's much more pronounced. It looks like a double line. Where does the hair go? Okay, the hair goes on the upper part of the head and follows down to the side by the ear. There's an indentation and so forth and so on. And the hair grows out. These are basically structural concepts of the head. We got to translate these things into human form. If you do, you change these geometric forms into round forms. Okay, it's up to you if you want to do it. This becomes a form which is soft, supported by a bone here. So this is where the shadow falls here, because it's soft. And the same thing on the side of the nose. And the same thing happens underneath the nose, assuming the light comes naturally from the left side. Okay? Now, this is the nostril. This is the nostril. And that in itself throws a shadow on the side of the head. And if we to continue this with the lip concept, you have the double line. There's an indentation here. The upper lip, lower lip flattens out here, it goes up. Okay. The upper lip overlays the bottom lip, and there's your forms. And then the double line continues here, and on the chin it sort of separates, and this is where the shadow is underneath the lip on a form. Now, this would be also in shadow, depending how thick or thin lips are there. This would be also in shadow. And obviously, at the end over here, you have a fold. Continue with the eye, which upper lip here Now, this is all geometric at this moment. Let me make it more human. Round it out to the human form. Here it is. This overlaps. There's a fold that goes here, goes to the second point here, and goes down here. The eyeball hangs on top of the upper lid with the dark area right here. Now, this eye, if looked in profile, would stick out. So therefore, there is a shadow area underneath here. This is closer to drawing the human head than what is done a lot of people by doing this. Usually in advertising, somebody who's eating nice and fat hamburgers. Okay, so now you have a general idea of the planes and the areas. This would be the hair, the chuck. Male hair goes down here, here, and the side of the head also. So there you have a cowboy from the Wild West. Okay, now, in the 50s and 60s, people had longer hair and grew it that way, which was hanging from the back, but that's another story. The rest of it is observation. Just to review briefly and show you also where the hair goes, let me do this. As you know, the head is divided into equal parts. One third down is the line for the eyebrows. Another third down is the bottom of the nose. This is divided into three parts. 1, 2, the bottom of the nose and the lip. And this is the area for the chin. So, if the nose is here, which is a general thing, and it goes to the sides like a triangle, and then there's an underplane, that is the nose. Each human being has a muzzle. This one goes around here and here. This goes to the outside. There is an area, indentation, for the eyes. And the eyes take an area like this, which in turn has a plane on the forehead, right there. So now we know that the eyes, which are a shape of a almond. Okay. Now, the ears are between the eyes and the bottom of the nose. And from behind the ear, that's where the line for the neck goes. So basically we have that, oh yes, the mouth. And the mouth is here. This double line makes, and the lips have an indentation on top, which go to the end. The bottom lip goes in the direction of the upper lip, but not to the end. Okay. And then there's a little fold here. So roughly, oh yes, and we have cheekbones which go in the direction of the nose and disappear. Direction of the nose and disappear. Those are the general areas of that. Then, if we are to go over and review the planes, if the light is over here, and the opposite area is the shadow, which will be roughly here, underneath the cheekbone, will also fill in this area and side of the head. So we have the general planes. So let's show the hair more or less over here. It goes down the sideburns right here and here. And let me mention one more thing. This is for male head. Females do not have facial hair. But on a male, the hair would go up here, here, and join with that one, extending further down. Let me show you in another color the hair. This would be the hair then. Let's not forget hair that goes under the nose for males also, the mustache. And that will be here. So now we have a bearded character. Before we had a businessman, and now we have a Wall Street pirate. Now, if you're a hippie or you're growing long hair, the hair will show up someplace over here, behind the ear. Okay, go in that direction. So here you have more or less the growth of hair on a male with the forms and planes, which should give you an idea. Now, on the nose, you would have shadow also here, depending on how big the nose is. These are structured. Nose has a bulb at the end, and there's a bone here. So, and there's nostrils which go up here. So keep that in mind when thinking about shadows. The nose gets part of the shadow. The nostril gets part of the shadow, and some noses are like this, so this part over here would get the highlight, where this would be slightly in the shadow, and so forth. And of course, remember the muzzle and the lips go down this way, and the upper lip gets the shadow, the lower lip is exposed to the light, and this underneath the lower lip, which goes into the chin, will get shadow, and then of course that. Okay? The area in the eye is here. There's an indentation. This is a ridge over the eyes, bone ridge. So if somebody hits you with a baseball bat, they knock your eyes out. And within the indentation is the eye. Okay? Now, obviously this upper part would be in shadow. This would be the eye. This being round, it may get a shadow, depends, especially when you get older. You're 97.5 years old, and all the wrinkles show. Then this will be wrinkles and will catch shadows. But usually, basically, this is in a shadow and this is in a light. If you are painting, you would put the highlights on the eye and so forth in order to show. Now, let's not forget the cheekbone. The cheekbone goes in the direction of the nose. Wait, excuse me. Let's do that again. In the direction of the nose, and because it sticks out from the head, it will also get part of the shadow. And then this hits what is known as the muzzle. Sometimes people have, depends, if they're fat or have a lot of weight, they may have a fat, big face, and that may create a little shadow here. Now, the front of the head goes along the front side and goes down here. The ear hangs on a line in the middle. The chin goes in the direction of the ear, okay? This line goes back to the shoulder, like this, and here the line goes down to the pit of the neck, and here is the shoulder. And now here you have the back of the head, neck, and so forth. So roughly you have this. Now, the indentation in the eye area, or the cavity where the eye is in, would be here. If, again, the light is from here, these areas would be in shadow. Let me show you. To simplify, the eye in profile is like a letter A, with this upper part for the lid above and a smaller area for lid down below. This is where the eye goes, and this is where the dark of the eye goes. All right, so there you have. By the way, this would overlap here. So there's your eye in profile. The hair would be then going down side of the head, down to the chin, by the nose. So there's your hair in a male. Speaking about the hair which goes on top of the head, you have different planes, as you notice. There's a plane which is in the light, because placing a portrait usually is proportions are 1/3 in the shadow, 2/3 in the light. So there's a 1/3 of the hair in the shadow, as well as this part of the head which is totally in the shadow. The eye, where the indentation is, and creating a ridge, creates a shadow in there, and very lightly the light touches, well, not even a partial light goes, a half tone goes in here. Whereas in this side you can see the eye goes in there and you have the shadow over here, including that. The same thing goes by the nose and the side. And you don't even see the shadow too well out of the beard, but you can see the whole beard here, and you can see where the light hits it. The same thing on the mustache. Underneath the mustache is shadow. Okay. To give an example of a finished drawing, this is a drawing of the Pope back in 87, quite some time ago. The only reason I'm bringing it up here is to show you that just what we were talking before, underneath the nose you had a shadow area, you had a shadow area on the side of the nose, whereas the opposite side receives the light, and the eyes are sunken into the head, so therefore the ridge over here throws a shadow over the eye, but you can see on here the form of the eye. The same thing with the lips. Lips receive light here, go back here, there's a shadow underneath the nose. And of course the whole head follows the same concept. I consider myself a editor because I'm editing the notes, the principles of Frank Reilly, who taught in Art Students League for nearly 20-some years, and then started his own school, Frank Reilly School of Art, in New York on 57th Street. Frank Reilly continued his work until late 60s when he died. I was teaching in a community college in New Jersey, County College of Mars, where I continued with the principles of Frank Reilly. I believe there are a number of books which cover his type of work, and I myself decided to put or transpose the lectures I took as a student in the book, The Artist's Atelier. I'm now planning to write one about landscapes. It'll be an introduction to landscapes. That'll be second part. If possible, I may write one with a demonstration eventually in the future about painting the head or figure.